This is going to be a bit of a different one today, boys. All and more coming up here on the Morning Jolt. What's up, guys? Mark back here with yet another video. Today, I'm going to do something a little bit different. And I got to be honest, I've really been struggling with whether or not to make this video or not. Honestly, at this very moment, as I sit here, I don't really know if I should say what I'm about to say, but you know what? I figure, F it. What difference does it make at this point? So first of all, let me just say there have been a few changes on the channel. I think most of you all that have at least been around for a little while, you've probably noticed. Number one, you probably noticed that I went from this to this. So yeah, the background did in fact change quite a bit. The main reason is because of life changes. So I think that a little bit of context and a little bit of backstory is probably in order here. So 8.5 years ago, me and my girlfriend got together. It was a very quick and fast romance. We ended up moving in pretty soon after we met, and we made a life together from that day all the way up until about a month and a half ago. Her and I decided to split up. There was no cheating, there was no fighting, there was no uproar, there was no big blowout or anything like that. It was just, I guess, time, you know? Sometimes you force things along, you help yourselves limp along, even well past that relationship's expiration date. Her and I are not mad at each other. Her and I are not angry at one another. We see each other every single day. Hence the reason that the set of my place has actually changed. I went from being in my office to in here, which is my vintage 1977 Avion camper. Now, the reason that I have been doing all of my episodes from this space and not inside in my office is because I've wanted to get acclimated to the process of producing and editing and working in this space, even though I still live here at the house. So some of you might be thinking, well, what exactly in the hell are you doing there? Why didn't you just go get an apartment or go rent another house or buy another house? Fact of the matter is that I don't plan on staying here. While I love my home and I love my animals and I love the farm, the rural areas, the quiet, the peace, no drive-bys being in the big city, no random fights just out in the middle of the street for absolutely no friggin' reason. I mean, sometimes, they would just be fighting out there. They didn't give a shit, like no shame whatsoever. They didn't care who saw them. So yeah, I don't miss that at all. I really have enjoyed being out in the rural areas a whole lot more. It's been so much quieter, so much more peaceful, so much easier to get things done and not worry about having all your shit stolen. But for the longest time, I have had I guess you would call it a yearning for other things. And to be quite frank with you all, I have wanderlust, something awful. It has always been somewhat of an inner desire, an inner dream to go and see as many places as possible. I'm not really for sure where that came from. No one else in my family generally does a whole lot of super duper travel. Now, a lot of my family members have done quite a bit of traveling, but it's not like on a consistent, all the time basis. But inside, I've always wanted to do it. I've always wanted to kind of be a bit of a gypsy, a bit of a nomad. I've wanted to see different things. I've wanted to experience different cultures around my area. I've wanted to see different landscapes. I've wanted to experience different places, different temperatures, and not just, hey, I want to take a vacation and that's what I want to do, for a week of my life, but I've wanted to do it almost constantly. Now, I might be delusional. I might actually hate it once I begin that process, but the fact of the matter is that I'm going to at least give it a try. So I've made a lot of changes, both inside and outside, in order to, I guess, facilitate this transition in my life. That was also the reason that I wanted to try and create a type of content for my channel that was easily replicatable so that I could do it anywhere, that I could do it at any time. And doing it from this space has also enabled me to see exactly how well it was going to actually do, how well it was going to perform. And thus far, it's done extremely well. I've been very, very pleased with the direction that things are going. So with all that being said, I have in fact become a full-time nomad. I have not started my journey yet, hence the reason I am making this video, because starting today, the 600 watts of solar panels that I have ordered are coming in, and I literally have to dedicate every last moment of my time between today, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I have like 5 days that I want to take so that not only can I install it, but install it correctly. Now, to the vast majority of you all, you're probably not going to be interested in any of that type of stuff. You may not even be interested in vlog-style videos in general, and that's fine. This channel is literally going to stay exactly the same. Nothing about it is going to change. I will still do the morning jolt, and I will still do the review videos when I do happen to get pieces of gear in that I actually want to review and get my hands on and test out and stuff like that. But for the other people that, might actually be interested in not only being a nomadic or maybe even living vicariously through a nomadic, I did start another channel. I did start a solely dedicated to this process channel. I'm going to leave a link to it down in the description box below. I can't believe I'm going to actually cross over my audience from this photography channel into that. But I want to be as transparent about this entire process as possible. Having the freedom to go and do and see whatever you want at any time you want is it's both frightening and exhilarating for me at the exact same time. And I'm going to be honest with you, I am absolutely terrified at the thought of leaving the home and the life that I have built to embracing the life that I've always wanted. On that other channel, I've made roughly 18 or 19 vlog-style videos where I'm basically talking about my life, talking about the process that we have gone through to get to this point. It's very raw, it's very real, there's no flashy editing, there's no professional lighting. It has just been me and my camera, one-on-one, talking to the audience. I don't know who they are, except for maybe like 3 or 4 of my friends. So there's not many people that have subscribed over there, and that was fine by me. I never wanted it to get big or to grow necessarily. I mean, that's always nice, but I wanted to document the process. I wanted to document the journey and the struggles that I was going to have on a day-to-day basis and the things that I was going through in order to deal with all of those, smaller problems. I was actually into tiny home living long before we had ever bought this place. Originally, the plan was I owned a piece of property that was about 11.5 acres, and it had a small 300 square foot cabin on the property. And that was what we were going to move to. We were going to try to condense our lives into 300 square feet. Well, I am one-upping that, and I am now going to be condensing my life down much, much further. So if you guys happen to be into that, or maybe you just want to follow along with me, see what I have gone from and what I'm going to, the process for me is going to be quite fluid. I am not going to set any kind of rigid schedule for myself. I am basically going to do exactly what I want to do. Now, there are certain memberships that I can get a hold of and, do certain things, but the ultimate goal was to make this place as self-sufficient as possible. Hence the reason I'm doing the solar. Hence the reason I've done a huge battery bank, and also the reason why I have invested in certain other pieces of gear that are going to allow me to not only go to the places that I want, but to the remote locations that most people either won't or can't go and then stay indefinitely. I want to be more of a travel adventure photographer. I want to see these things that I have always dreamed of seeing. And being a part of a grid-tied homesteading style life, you absolutely can't do it. You've got too many responsibilities. So even when you could maybe get away for a couple of days, you're constantly worried and thinking about all the stuff back at the house that you have to take care of, that you have to manage, that, oh, are my animals okay? Please, God, I hope the raccoons, I hope that the possums haven't killed all of my chickens, blah, blah, blah. You've got a lot of worry when it comes to being very self-sufficient and raising your own food and taking care of your own animals. It is a lot of responsibility. But with those things no longer weighing on my shoulders, the possibility of me going out and being able to do this thing that I've always wanted to do, it is now much more realized. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just doing it. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and I'm not really for sure if I'm going to be successful at it, but I am doing it whether I am ready or not. But I have been trying my best to get as ready as I possibly can. And I wanted to share it with you all because sometimes I think that making things possible for yourself really does take a giant leap of faith. Sometimes you're just unsure. Sometimes you're not ready. Sometimes circumstances push you in a new direction. And even though you might be a bit resistant to that, my friends, I would say, why don't you just embrace it? Give it a shot. Maybe it's not as bad as you thought. You know, losing your life, losing all your money, losing your girlfriend or your wife or your boyfriend or whatever. Sometimes that's going to be hard. Sometimes that's going to be difficult. And it's going to put you in a situation that you've maybe never experienced before. And that is not always a bad thing. So I'm not going to drag this out or anything. Generally, I am a very open person. I've always been willing to tell things to people. This one was a little bit more of a struggle for me because I really wasn't for sure if I wanted to intermingle my audiences, whether, you know, out of, I don't know, just fear or pure fear. Like I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure why I didn't want to intermingle my audiences. But I'm willing to, you know, this is real life. Shit happens. Stuff changes. Life is not predictable. And sometimes you just have to go with the flow. And I would rather enjoy my journey much more so with some of you guys, some of the best people that I know. But I ended up making this decision because I would rather go with you all, because I will be doing my photography as I go. I will be doing this as I go. And while the content between the different channels are going to be separated between more RV travel adventure style stuff, this channel's not going to change. So I didn't want anyone to think that there might be some drastic change in content. I am making separate content so that for those of you that don't really care about it, you all don't even have to go and look at it. You all don't even have to bother yourself with that style of content and information. But for those of you that were interested, for those of you that might have been curious, even if you just wanted to, I don't know, be like a peeping Tom of my life, that is completely available to you. So like I said, there's no flashy lights, there's no, you know, well exposed, like it's just raw. It is raw and real. I might start to invest more and more time and effort into maybe production value. I'm sure there's going to be some instances where I am going to do that, but it is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. I hope you guys will, you know, join me on this new challenge, this new adventure, this new chapter in my life. If not, that's fine. That's cool. If it's all about cameras, you can find that right here. But if you're interested in maybe a little bit of something else, hey, it's there for you. So at any rate, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me, taking the time to watch this video, and being patient with me during my life renovation. And like I said, I'm going to leave the link down to the other channel in the description box below. So thanks so much for watching this video. If you happen to like it, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. If you enjoyed the hell out of it, go ahead and consider subscribing to either this channel or the other one. Thanks again for watching yet another Morning Jolt episode here on the Photo Video Show. I'm your host, Mark Puckett, and I'm going to see you guys again on the next one. Peace out.